If you're keeping up with the Stalker series, today you would know that the Enhanced Edition released, and uh, well, the fan base wasn't exactly very happy about it for a lot of different reasons, and there was quite the uproar, plenty of memes. But there was one really important post that I saw, garnering 250 upvotes and as many hours. It clearly has a message to say. So what is it? Dear GSC Game World, congratulations on the release of Legend of the Zone Enhanced Edition, and sincere thank you from the entire community for providing those versions for free for all the owners of the Legacy editions. The addition of gamepad support, Steam achievements, many next-gen graphics features, and quality of life improvements are most welcome. Still, the enhanced editions are between mostly negative and mixed reviews. And while it's true that a solid part of that is due to Russian influence, and some of your fanbase will never be satisfied no matter what you do, there are many fundamental issues with the release. They're not going to disappear with hotfixes, the changes you have done to the game world. It's clear that the changes are welcomed by some people, yet it is still a massive downgrade for many other longtime fans. The atmospheric integrity of the zone relies on preserving those historical elements. The games are set in a place stuck in time of the Chernobyl catastrophe, and the remnants act not as a tool of propaganda, but as reminders of the consequences of the totalitarian regime. The zone's appeal has always been about its unique setting, not just the anomalous nature of it, but the place and time that most of us have never been to. Removing these elements is directly robbing the players of the immersion that made the original releases so great. Please do not ignore our feedback. If you want to retain those changes, provide a setting in the options menu to switch between original and updated versions. And there you have it. And right away, we've got a few hard-hitting top comments. Revisionism isn't cool. We must learn history lest we're doomed to repeat it. Incredibly bizarre to remove Soviet imagery when it practically exists as a monument to the failures of the Soviet Union. Might as well remove the entire CNPP since the reason it exploded was because of the Soviets. We need to get this upvoted and send it to GSC. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm gonna say it's probably 50-50 on whether or not they're going to see it or care. They might make a response and say, oh, well, we understand your... They might make a response, but they're not going to change it. I can tell you that right off the bat. I've been in the Discord for a couple years since before Stalker 2 came out, and even then, like years back, whenever they disallowed the Russian language to be in the Discord at all, the writing was on the wall then, so to speak. So if they're not going to let specific language or anything around it be in the Discord, what makes you think they're going to allow it to be in a game? But then again, there are people pointing out inconsistencies that they were allowing certain things in Stalker 2 that they removed from the enhanced editions, which doesn't make sense. Because if you remove it from one, why not remove it from the other? A lot of people are saying that removing the line art is their Roman Empire, basically. I don't know why. I guess because it's, as this guy says, a random thing, and it doesn't really, it's harmless, it doesn't even do anything. It's graffiti. It's a drawing, It's nothing harmful to anybody, right? But this guy says it's actually back on another building in Stalker 2. So here's a great example. If you have it in one game, why do you remove it from the other one? This is a pretty good comment. You would expect this kind of revisionism from current Russia, not Ukrainians. Yeah, the victims. I don't really get it. You would think the aggressor would want to stomp this stuff out, not let anybody see shit or do anything, but it's, so it doesn't make sense. This guy is talking about how the subreddit has changed over the years. I haven't been in the subreddit this long. The subreddit is a cesspool. I hate coming to it, but it just keeps like happening to me, so I can't really shake it. I don't know why, but he said that it's been going through like a long period of development, I guess. Pretty crazy. But what all did they remove? Let's take a look here. It's a bit more than a Lenin statue. It's a CNPP sign. Its poster textures, such as those in the Hunter Rats bar or the Corda Northern checkpoint, that have been replaced with empty white boxes. A lot more minor changes exist and do not take away much, such as the red stars being gone from 545 and the MI2 helis. The money gain loss icons and call appropriated second beard quest icon both feature a part being blurred to hide the face on the banknote. The money received icon in SOC has also been changed to something that looks a lot worse just to avoid showing the face of Lenin. Generally speaking, there is no Soviet imagery at all. You won't find a star, a hammer and sickle, or coat of arms. If you look at preserved elements such as MW banner, you will find that it has no more writing, and the clothes are empty without any orders or signs. You could argue that these details are minor and you would be correct, but even minor details add up. People will play through the game and not notice, but will end up with a different experience. This guy claps back and says that Soviet symbols are banned in Ukraine as well as in Poland, Latvia, Georgia, and other Eastern European places. However, they were arguing about it somewhere up here. Here we go. It's literally useless to ask them to bring it back because the alternative is jail. However, the original poster comes and says, the overwhelming majority of countries don't have those laws. But the really important part, he says GSC is legally based in Cyprus. Isn't that in Greece? Anyway, they're not bound by Ukrainian laws. That said, they are free to leave the updated textures specifically for the countries mentioned. Thankfully, Steam allows setting region-specific packages. So that's a problem already solved. But even then, I don't think those changes are necessary, he says. It applies to real life, not fiction. The context in which the signs are used is important. Yeah, it is. Of course it is. If you're just going to stick it in there for no reason, then you'll probably be in more trouble. But if you're giving it context and like a reason, then why not, right? This guy says if Stalker took place anywhere else, he wouldn't give a fuck. Yeah. It's the setting, it's the atmosphere. You know, I got into it because I loved history and learning about shit, and you're kind of fucking up the atmosphere and the setting by, you know, removing the setting. It's crazy. But this guy says it's valid for them to have removed it. You can make arguments for and against it, man, but the majority of people here are saying that censorship is bad no matter what angle you're coming from, and I agree with that. Okay, that should be the dominant point. And that should be the final say on the matter. Censorship is bad because they're removing anything that they're removing any reminders of it. Okay, it's like Call of Duty removing the swastika, right? Why? Because it looks bad or it reminds people. Let it remind people. You know what I mean? I get it. They don't want to upset people, but I mean, come the fuck on, right? Jesus. Hey, you know, hey, maybe GSC will look at this and they'll respond to it, like I said. But I can basically fucking guarantee you nothing's gonna change. They might give you a response. A community manager might see this at the top of the subreddit and be like, "Hot damn, guys, we gotta respond to this." It's already getting awards, Jesus Christ. Yeah, but they're not gonna do anything. I can guarantee it, man.